Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Maybe you need a timeout.
Welcome to the Luke and Rory podcast. Here are two guys, knuckleheads if you may, who jump in front of a camera and do a Facebook Live show.
You know, it's exciting.
They've decided to take that Facebook Live show and put it into a podcast.
Oh, good for you!
Why? Because can you really get enough of Luke and Rory?
That's a good one.
Meet Luke Weaver, who's known for his dead sexy hair.
You're an awful man. You are truly a disappointment to its own.
Meet Rory Pitts, who's never found an apple cup he can't be disappointed about.
I'm telling you, that man does not look stable.
Two guys who went to the same high school, love the same music, love sports, love movies, love their families.
Look at these clowns. Hand-picked monkeys.
All right, looks like the boys are caffeinated and ready to go.
Come on, get some coffee. You want some coffee?
That's enough nonsense. Now let's join the show.
Sound good?
Oh boy! Oh, we can't say that. We can't say that for copyright purposes. We
I'm
cannot
saying
say
T
that.
Swizzy.
Oh, and now we're going to be deplatformed and demonetized.
Won't be the first time.
Defunded.
The funny thing about being
Actually, I just saw that
demonetized, you have to
2023.
be monetized before you're demonetized.
You mean we're not making money off this?
Oh my gosh, we're not making money off much. Magruder, good morning, my friend. Drew, good morning. Paul, good morning. I've never seen the opening before now. The end is much more rewarding. Thanks, Paul. We agree. That's what she
my
said.
goodness.
Oh.
Hey, there's Magruder right there. Bros.
What's up, Pamela?
Good morning, everybody.
Pamela.
Welcome to January 95th, 2024. It's actually February 1st.
It's my month, dude.
Oh, are you one of those people?
It's my month.
We're going to cancel the show right now if you're one of those people. It's my birthday month.
No,
It's
I'm
my
not one of those people.
birthday
I'm
month.
not one of those people at all, except for you shut your mouth because I only get a birthday every 4 years, and I actually get one this year.
Whose fault is that?
So I'm pretty.
That's your mom's fault.
Yeah, my mom's
That's
fault.
your mom's fault.
Cork it
Don't
up.
blame us.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. Get a birthday this year. I'll be a whopping 11. So my wife says I still act like it, so might as well,
Isn't that the truth?
Goodness.
Drew says, let's go, boys. Let's rip the Band-Aid off
Birthday
and
month
go.
for Luke. Absolutely. All right. We got crap to talk about today.
I need coffee. Oh, I mentioned that in the intro. Want some coffee?
I got you some coffee.
I got some coffee. He got me some coffee.
You had coffee the moment you got here in
Dude,
your hot little hands.
I woke up good this morning. I got to share something with you, which is very strange. This may cause you guys to fall out of your chairs. So I've been trying to improve my sleep.
I'm Concernicus. Yeah.
I've been trying to improve my sleep.
I got a funny story about that.
And I use a CPAP machine. And recently, I've been dealing with
It's hilarious.
dry mouth.
I've hoteled with this guy on more than one occasion, and you wake up in the middle of the night and it smells like Darth Vader's in your room.
True.
And you look over there.
Well, let me explain dry mouth, because what dry mouth does, and if you don't understand CPAP, really simple explanation, air goes in so I don't snore and I don't choke on myself and I don't die. That's basically CPAP. Now, what dry mouth is that the pressure is going into my nose, but my mouth is not staying closed. And so the air is just coming right back out. And it's actually a really bad problem for cavities and just things going on.
Your breath. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Plus, it feels like when I wake up in the morning, like my mouth has just been drugged through the desert. It's very uncomfortable. And I thought there's got to be something to fix this.
It drove through the desert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Pamela says, happy birthday month, Luke.
I love you.
Pamela.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yes.
So anyways,
Pamela understands the importance of me.
So I've been looking up some different things, trying to figure this out. I talked to a sleep doctor last year. Her recommendation was to get a new CPAP machine. So I did. Found out my insurance didn't cover it. Thank you.
I love how your health insurance doesn't cover you being alive. Like, I hate health insurance.
Yeah. So
It's the
instead of
biggest racket.
pitching a fit, I just freaking paid the bill.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I get a new CPAP machine.
Paul says full face.
That's what I'm getting to. You stole my punchline. So anyways,
Is that gonna work
I use a
with that?
humidifier, and the humidifier, I fill it up at night, and in the morning, it's bone dry. So I'm looking up a couple different CPAP YouTube videos, and one of the guys talks about if you go to, would you just shut the hell up for a second? Let me tell my story.
I'm just imagining Christy walking into the room with you every night, like, sup, fella? Got your humidifier, your CPAP machine, rubbing Vicks on your chest, and just, hey, lady.
Long story short, I fixed the problem. I'm feeling good, and let's move on to your damn stories.
For real with the full face, though. Do you have?
I don't know. I know. you freaking.
Well, because like a gas mask, you have to have a seal. Do you have to have a seal?
I don't know, Dick.
I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to help you here.
I'm trying to tell a story.
You without a beard is a concern for all of us. Like, we got to figure this out.
You know what, Weaver?
Sorry.
I woke up feeling good this morning.
I'm glad
but
you
ruined it for me.
You have to get another machine then?
No, Dick.
I thought you said you got to get a full face.
I couldn't finish the damn story.
Okay, finish it. Sorry. I was laughing. I'm sorry I was laughing. Okay, so carry on.
This guy.
I know.
Long story
That's
short.
how the show's going to go. Go ahead. All right.
I figured out a temporary solution.
My wife just texted me and told me not to steal your story. Okay, go. Sorry.
So I got a temporary solution. One of the temporary solutions is that you can actually have this thing on your chin. You look like freaking Jacob Marley when he's a ghost. But it keeps your mouth pretty much shut. It puts pressure on your mouth to keep it shut.
Okay.
And so I've done that for the last 3 days. And then I've got my mask,
And
my
that's
regular
all?
nose mask on. And I've woken up before my alarm. Like my body said, hey.
Like rested?
Yeah.
So you're breathing in and out through your nose entirely?
Right. And I think I'm still breathing a little bit out of my mouth, but I mean, for the most part, that thing's keeping my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And it's been very beneficial. The last 3 mornings I've woken up and just thought, I actually feel pretty good.
That's good.
So I called up the CPAP.
Are you tracking your sleep like on your watch? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And so I called the CPAP supply company yesterday, and I said, hey, do you guys have full face masks like Paul said here? Where'd it go? Right there.
Yeah.
Like Paul said right there, full face. And they said, yeah, actually we do. If you want to come in and do a fitting, we can see which one might work for you. Because the whole point of that is that if the air is going in the nose, it's coming out my mouth, well, it's kind of all there. So it's not just, think of it like, well, it's pretty simple. We all know that if you get water in your nose, you can feel it go down your throat.
Yeah.
So it's an open system right there. But if I keep all of that contained within one mask area, then I'm still keeping myself alive because I'm not choking on my own whatever the frick that thing is back there.
Yeah.
And I'm not waking up with dry mouth and feeling like I'm just went through the Mojave Desert. So long story short,
Dragging your tongue.
Dick,
Yeah.
I feel better this morning than I have all week until I got here.
I got here and I had coffee for you.
So, Rachel's texting me.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
Maybe Luke needs that, whatever it is, to keep his mouth shut so someone else can tell a story. He's the worst. She is my new best friend.
She's
100% correct.
Tag team on me all the time, dude. A couple of bullies.
All right, let's get to this. I'm
I'm
sorry.
glad that's where. So are you getting like 8 hours, or is it just like the quality of sleep?
That's what I'm focusing on is 8 hours. I get between 7 and 8. When I was younger, I would 5.
Does it rate your sleep?
I'm not sure.
Like you do?
But I mean, I think I got a notification. Way to go, getting 8 hours.
I got a Garmin, and it'll tell me the quality of sleep. So I could get 8 hours, and it would still be like, hey, your sleep score is 79.
Yes.
Or 91.
Yes. When I had my, when I had a Fitbit, it would tell you that.
Your sleep score, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you can get hours of sleep, but if you are not getting good sleep,
Restless.
Yeah, exactly.
2 nights ago, I got 8 hours and 15 minutes, and it was a 91 sleep score, so it was excellent. I was stoked. So, of course, that was 3 nights ago. So the night before last, of course, the universe conspired against me and made sure I got
as well it should
5 hours of like 64. So whatever. Anyway.
All right.
Well, good,
Paul,
dude. I'm glad your sleep is better.
Paul says 2 weeks until I leave for a 10-day cruise. Where are you going, Paul? You probably put it in here, but where are you going? Pamela says, hey, I share my birthday. I celebrate it all month long. Can't imagine having one every 4 years.
I know.
Pamela, I love you. I was talking to Christy about this, I think a month ago.
Yeah.
I said it drives me nuts when people put out in social media, it's my birthday month. Everybody celebrate me for a month.
I think some people can have a little bit of fun with it, but I do know some people that are like, their birthday is on like March 23rd and it's the 2nd, and they were like, and they're literally like, "It is my birthday." Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh, it's a special year. What year are you celebrating? 47?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real milestone. I didn't think I'd make it this long.
But Pamela, you know I love you.
I know.
I'm. You know what? I expect
Dude, I'll be.
Pamela to celebrate all month long.
Oh yeah.
And that's not a knock on Pamela.
No.
That is your personality, and I love that.
She's a cheery person.
It's
like
just
that.
not. Yeah.
Dude.
She's cheery. We're not.
I'll be 44 this year.
You can be 11.
I didn't even think I'd make it to 40. Like, I mean, every year right now is icing on the cake. I'm like, this is great.
You don't pull your head out of your ass this year. You ain't gonna make it to 45.
Oh man, my Aunt Terry's watching. Good morning, Aunt Terry.
I love the new format of the show.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna freaking rip into you if I need to.
Yeah, go ahead. It makes for good comedy. It's like a Penn and Teller thing. Yeah. Just every now and again,
Beavis
idiot.
and Butthead.
Just every now and again, call me an idiot. See the viewers go up.
Paul says, "Sorry, it's the nurse in me. Put bourbon in it." You know.
This is why we keep you around.
I
Paul.
like where your head's at.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
I
Gardner Minshew.
put bourbon and everything else. Might as well.
Gardner Minshew,
Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowler.
I still think he is a starting NFL quarterback if he just gets a chance to play consistently.
Yeah, I think so too. Drew says, "Do you dream as being a fighter pilot when the mask is on?" Ask for it. I will let you know because once I get the full mask, then I'll let you know.
He wakes up, his alarm.
Where does the air go? The air goes. It's funny because that's how sometimes I can tell if my machine is on or not.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'll just open up my mouth and all of a sudden you just hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see.
What else we got?
Drew says, "I stopped caring about my birthday."
Yeah. What day is it?
It's true. It's true.
That's how, and honestly, like, you probably should be better about it, but Rachel and I are about our anniversary. 9 times out of 10, like, half of the day, we're like, hey, you know what today is? 10 years, rock and roll.
I'm sure Rachel's not like that.
No,
but
she is. I probably remember it a little more than she does.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow. Well, hey.
But she remembers everything else I screw up in the house. So
we all do.
Yeah. All right.
So we had a little something happen in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, we did. Hey, before we get to that real quick, we'll say it again at the end of the show. Next week we have a special guest, Mr. Nars Martinez, director of FBC Northwest Alliance Girls Travel Basketball Program, also CEO of Baden, the Baden All-America Committee for Girls Basketball, and CEO of Coast to Coast Scouting for basketball.
I'm sensing a trend.
Yeah, dude's just, he's got his hand in a lot of things, man. And he is the director of My Girls program. He's like family to us. We love him. We're going to have him on next Thursday. So tune in for that. There's going to be some good stuff just on life, his story and girls basketball in the area and kind of things that are coming up. It'll be a good interview. So we're excited about that. So that's next Thursday.
Very cool.
All right. Yeah, something happened. That's why I wore this.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
I wasn't going to, but then I thought, in case I need to be incognito, I go with the camo and the Seahawks.
Let's get this going right here because we're gonna want your guys' comments on this.
We got Christian.
What?
Look, I was beginning to think that the Seahawks were going to go into the season with a coach by committee or something. Like Schneider was going to do it. Like,
I honestly thought
3 weeks, which is long in NFL standards.
When the guy from Detroit decided not to leave for Seattle or
Ben Johnson?
Washington, Ben Johnson. When he decided not to do that, I thought, did we miss the boat?
Yeah, I'm of the mindset that they were waiting for McDonald the whole time.
See, and I love we're going to talk about this because you know how much of Mike McDonald I knew before yesterday? That his defense beat the hell out of the Seahawks back in November.
Out of everybody.
That's all I knew.
Well, yeah, and I think about it too. They beat the hell out of the Niners.
So when I started looking into him and his pedigree and everything that he's been doing, I went, holy crap, we got steal.
In all honesty, they beat the hell out of the Chiefs on Sunday too. It wasn't his fault that they couldn't put points on the board. I can honestly say.
Morning, Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good singer. He's got a great voice.
Oh yeah, he's letting it rip. Yeah. Christian, that's what he's
Hi, Mike McDonald.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. I really am. I obviously you can go back and look. Rory and I were both like, what the hell are we doing? We let go of Pete. Careful what you wish for. Yeah. But I think that we went from the oldest coach in the league to the youngest coach in the league, which I don't put too much credence on. Like, you can either identify with players or you can't. You can either communicate with them or you can't. But I think it was a great hire.
Paul says, it seems maybe we should have had someone lined up before we let Pete go. I heard this morning Hawks wanted an OC, settled for DC. Oh, that's interesting.
I actually prefer the way it's going. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I still think defense wins championships, despite the offense-heavy league that the NFL is. Now,
I agree.
I still think defense wins championships.
I agree.
I think if you really look at the offensive juggernauts in the last 10 years that didn't have a great defense, they have not won the Super Bowl. I mean, you can start with the Broncos against the Hawks. You can then go on to like some of the San Francisco team with Mike Shanahan that gave up too many points no matter how many they put on the board. Like,
what about the greatest show on turf?
That's the last time, really.
Yeah.
But they also had they had a better than average defense.
Okay, yeah.
And so my thing is that, and that was 25 years ago. Like, I still think you need to have a great defense. And even if you look at some of the teams that are very offensive minded right now, like the Dolphins, those people are putting up huge. The Eagles, right? They could not score enough points to keep their teams in the playoffs.
Right, and that's a problem.
Yeah, when
that
they ran up against
good
defenses. And so I would rather have a guy like Mike McDonald, Coach Mack, coming in, who will help get our defense a top 10 defense again, if not better, and then bring in an offensive coordinator that's got some juice that can put some points on the board. Because I really think, look, if you have a great defensive coordinator and they're holding teams to say under 20 points a game, and you have a good offensive coordinator, you only need to average 21-22, and you're going to have a winning record. Right off the bat. So I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. And like I said, the more I read about him, the more I've watched some videos about him. I mean, just think about the fact that he was with John Harbaugh for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Before that, he was with Jim Harbaugh.
Jimbo.
And before that, he was with the Ravens.
Yep.
And just his entire background.
Well, and let's not forget, it's his defense that won the national title this year and shut down the Huskies. He put that defense in,
right?
And so just remember that.
Right. And the thing is, I love the fact, and this is not a knock against Pete, but Pete's 72, and I think Paul might have. Did Paul say it? No, he didn't say it in here. Maybe somebody else will chime in on this. We got a new generation of players.
Yeah.
And as much as the Belichick style, and I'm trying to think who else is of the Belichick mindset that it just isn't working anymore. I mean, because
Ron Rivera, maybe.
Ron Rivera, that's a good one right there. Now the thing is, Andy Reid is of that old school, but he's found a way to adapt.
Well, KJ Wright said something on the KJ Wright show yesterday on 710. He said, and mind you, he prefaced it all by talking about how much he loves Pete and loved playing for Pete and would run through a wall for that man. But that Mike McDonald is going to bring a different, where he's a great guy and people love playing for him and he'll be very positive. He's going to bring a different level of intensity to the practice field. Like KJ said, they weren't hitting until the first preseason game, whereas Baltimore is hitting the first day they're allowed. Like they're practicing tackling, they're wrapping up. And we've seen this the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
The Seahawks have not been as strong as tacklers. And KJ said, not enough. Too much sunshine and rainbows a little bit towards the end with not enough hitting. Coach Mack's going to come in here and be like, oh, today's the first day of hitting practice? Get the pads on.
Yep.
And so I'm excited about that.
Pamela says, I think the Seahawks need a new blood at the helm, hiring from within. We would have been in the same boat. I
felt the same thing
agree.
I felt the same thing with Dan Quinn,
who went to the Commanders this morning.
Good for him. Excited, happy for him.
Go. You know what? You brought up a good point because you've got McDonald, who is an East Coast guy.
Yeah.
Born in Boston, went to college in Georgia, and
I need a lager.
Yeah. And you got Pete Carroll, who is a West Coast guy.
Does he have a Boston accent? That makes it even better.
I don't know. We'll find out at 11 o'clock.
It comes out like Bill Burr, dude. Just even better.
Anyway. Going to bring a wicked defense.
Yeah. Yelling at people.
Now you want to be a man, huh?
Say hello to your mother for me. Yeah, I hope. I can only hope. Anyway.
But that's a great observation where you've got a West Coast style, which does seem a little more laid back, but hey, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
And you've got an East Coast style, which is like the new version of slobber knocker football.
Yeah.
And I want that was the one thing early on in Pete Carroll's reign as head coach was the defense. I loved the Legion of Boom. Who didn't love Legion of Boom? And when you see Cam Chancellor just take somebody out, that to me is football. When I see some guys today that put a shoulder in or just kind of put an arm out, but they don't slow them down or anything, I'm like,
well, it happened the other day in that Detroit game.
Yeah,
they had a chance to get a stop in the flat. Kid came up, lowered his helmet, arms behind him, like going for a big blow, didn't bring him to the ground. And I think it was Deebo Samuel, got free, scooted down the sideline. It should have been a stop for a loss.
Right. I mean, and that's football 101. I mean, anybody that remembers Coach Pugh, if you ever played for Coach Pugh or you ever in his classes or anything, one of the things he always told us on the practice field was you need to wrap up. And if he saw you not wrap up, 50 yards of bear crawls, just add it to the end of practice. And that is that's football 101. You got to wrap up. And I understand that some of these guys, well, I want to try and save my body for a longer career. Understandable. But are you doing more damage by not tackling with the fundamentals?
Well, wrapping up is going to save your body more than these big blows. So they lower the helmet and they jack up their shoulders. And
there's crab right there.
And in all honesty,
wrap up.
Yeah, and in all honesty, watch rugby. And they play longer and are healthier than football players, and they play with no pads on.
Yep.
Because they wrap around the waist and drag to the ground.
Yep.
So, I think it's a great hire. I mean, even if you look at the NFC Championship the other day, like the Niners won and all that, and they have an explosive offense, but it took every one of their scores to turn back Detroit. Like, I really want to see a dominant defense that punches people in the mouth, makes them wish they weren't there, and then you bring in an offensive coordinator that's got a little bit of juice, a little bit of creativity, and average 25 points a game. And dude, I will take 24-16 wins, 21-13 wins all day long. Yeah, like a win is a win, and I love what they're doing. Do it with the defense. So I love the hire. So I'm excited. We'll see where this goes. He's obviously got to fill his coaches and his coordinators. I was listening to I think it was Coach Holmgren yesterday with Furness. Yeah. And he was talking about, Furness asked, does he have anybody in mind that he might think wants to be the OC or the DC? And Coach Holmgren says, every single offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, when they're on a team, they make a list because they expect that someday they're going to be moving up to coach. Yeah. They'd be stupid not to have a list. He said, when I was, where did he say? When he was under Bill Walsh, he already had his list of people he wanted to bring in. And so the thing is that Coach McDonald already knows who he wants to bring over. And he's respected in the league. Yep. ESPN yesterday, all the analysts and whatever were calling it, literally the Seahawks won the coaching carousel this year. And I love the fact that the Seahawks have had all of the publicity over the last 24 hours. Yeah. They didn't have to share it with any other team that was also bringing on the coach. Someone made a good point. Well, I guess the Commanders. Someone made a good point this morning. They were like, even if he was looking at some of these other options, other teams, places he could go. The Seahawks, from what everyone's hearing, like from sources on the inside, is that the Seahawks were most attractive to him because of the Devin Witherspoons, the Jordan Brooks, the Reek Woolens, even like Jaron Reed, like Nwosu, all these, Boye Mafe, these young studs that sources are saying or insiders saying that his inside is saying whatever that he can mold into. Like the clay is there. So and so this. Go ahead. What I'll say to you is, and we've talked about this before. I've had my frustrations with the defense under Carroll this past season. I've had my frustrations, and you've told me you're like, no, he's a good player. He's a good, solid player. He's got the skills. He can do it. And maybe with bringing McDonald in, he'll take those skills, the raw talent, and put him into really good skills. And I think so. Best defense in the NFL this year was Baltimore, with really less superstars than most other teams. I mean, they don't have that big, flashy, a T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons, a Bosa brother. Like, they just work well as a unit. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got some studs, but I'm saying they work well as a unit. they do their job. Like, and that was a big thing with like the early Seahawks, right? Like, Legion of Boom. Everyone does their job. They're where they're supposed to be.
Right.
And so, Luke, you watch ESPN during the day. There are reasons. What's he say? There are reasons why some of the shows are on during daytime. Absolutely.
This is true. Yes.
Paul says, I played rugby and volleyball in college. Did more damage to my body playing volleyball, more damage to my liver at rugby post-game parties. I think that's universal, dude. That's
That's very true.
So yeah, I really like it.
Christian says, are you too satisfied with Geno Smith, or do you want a new QB drafted and brought in to be our next quarterback?
I think that this solidifies that Geno Smith is going to be the quarterback next year.
Okay, why?
Because if I'm Mike McDonald, the first thing I'm doing when I come in is the defense, is shoring up the defense, right? That finished in the bottom 5 in every huge category. And if I'm him, in my mind, I think, you know what? I have an established quarterback, whether he's all pro or not, is nothing. But I have an established quarterback. If I can, go get Gardner, dude. I'd take Gardner. But if I can take a guy like Geno and just play, push it a little bit, our play action, that kind of thing, and score 23, 24, 25 points a game, we're going to win ball games. With the defense. And so
that's a good observation.
Why rush it? Keep the guy in place that's capable enough, even though I'm not a big fan. I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah, we're not.
That's capable enough, keep in place while I shore up the defense and wait for the right moment to move on the quarterback of the future.
Bring in an OC that can do what we're asking to do on defense.
Yeah.
Take what we got on offense and work with it. Because we can all agree, some of the play calling on offense, not just last year, but since Pete Carroll came in 2010, some of the play calling has been suspect.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Shane Waldron. I think he's got a lot of creativity and stuff, and we saw that sometimes. But I think there's sometimes just decision making.
Yeah.
Was like timing.
Yeah.
What are we doing? So, yeah.
Let's see, with or without mustache. Oh, if we're bringing in Gardner,
yeah,
mustache.
You need that moxie.
Yeah, we need the mustache.
You need that moxie
and the jorts.
Good morning, Richard Roberson. Rick is on. Yeah, we have to have the jorts, dude.
Waldron was dog crap. Thanks, Mike.
I don't want you to sugarcoat it, Mike. I want you to be honest.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
So,
well,
Waldron's off to another job.
We got our boy here who's over there in the Midwest now, our buddy Drew Long. He says, I'm cheering for KC for the only fact that they beat the Crap Fins and Buffalo Bills. So that's coming from a guy who truly hates the other teams in his conference, his division. Which is beautiful. That's what I love, seeing that kind of stuff. But
I think you're in for the long haul rebuild there, Drew.
We are going to we'll talk about
this could be early 90s Patriots all over again.
80s and 90s. We'll be talking about the bowl that is kind of super next week with our picks, which I'm going back and forth, which is just horrible mental exercises in my head. But we'll go with that next week.
I pick Usher.
Yeah. However, I feel like you and I need to talk about this.
Oh boy.
A certain world-renowned singer and a certain tight end.
To be clear, you feel like we need to talk about it.
Well, I think we do.
I would rather take a nap, but
we do. And I want you guys to chime in on this, because if you don't know what's going on.
Know your role. Stay in your lane.
Where is oh, there he is right there. Cool.
Dane, I really wish the Eagles were playing against the Chiefs, because Taylor Swift is an Eagles fan, and it would have been hilarious if she showed up in Eagles gear. That's true. That
would have been good. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We'll just keep it real quick on this whole.
Isn't she from Tennessee originally?
Anyway. I think she's from. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
I don't know enough.
So here's the thing. After the AFC Championship game on Sunday, what did he say?
Let me check my work calendar, and yes, I have nothing scheduled.
Luke looks like he needs a nap. Did you just barely make it in this morning? Every morning.
Actually, who was first here this morning and with coffee?
You were here first this morning and with coffee.
Suck it, Trebek.
Good. That's what I want to hear. Her dad played for Delaware. Rory equals Swiftie. Yes, I'm a Swiftie. Yes. Take that out of context.
Getting that serious. Yeah.
No, here's the thing. Is the AFC Championship game on Sunday. The Chiefs won. Taylor Swift goes down in the field. Her and Travis Kelce, they have an exchange, a kiss. Some people say, I love you, I don't love you. Whatever. I don't care about that. Here's what I care about.
Yeah, who cares?
That's what I care about. Who cares? There are some there are some conservatives out there that are ripping Taylor Swift because she's ruining the game of football. Shut the hell up.
Well, there was a study that came out a couple weeks ago that kind of showed, and I say study loosely, they were just kind of looking at like ratings.
And if you disagree with me, bring it.
That was showing that early on it was driving ratings, having her there, and then the further it went, it was actually going the other way around. They were actually, the ratings and stuff were picking up. If there was another game on and they were showing Swift, diehard football fans were like, F it, like change the channel. You know, I'd rather watch the Browns.
No, those are assholes. So, I will just say that there's our one use of the word asshole. Oh, I used it twice.
Yeah. Now we're in trouble.
If you're going to watch a football game off if they're going to show video of Taylor Swift in the stands, you've got a problem.
If I'm honest,
you know how much actual footage they have of Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Less than a minute.
Although if I'm honest, like
no, please lie to us.
Show me. I do that enough, but
yeah.
Like I don't know. I would rather see like Brock Purdy's parents, like his dad crying every time he makes a bat. He's so proud of his son. Like I would rather see, some of these families like wives and kids than Swift concerts.
Right, but as a marketing genius, you're going to show that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this is why I brought the topic up. Is what I'm going to share next. Is there are people out there that are saying that Taylor Swift is an op, and that she's there to destroy MAGA and to help Joe Biden become president. Shut up.
I really think she's there because Travis is giving her that good.
I didn't.
I don't think it has anything to do with politics.
Did I save it? Let me see if I saved it because I wanted to.
I really think it has
I
nothing
want
to do
to
with
share
politics.
this if I saved it. Oh, I didn't.
Nothing to do with politics, dude.
So let me get this right. You've got a woman who has built up her career, and a guy who played for Cincinnati in college.
Yeah, go Bearcats.
And they both just happen to converge in Kansas City to become a power couple, all to bring down MAGA
To promote Pfizer.
and to build up Biden's presidency.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, listen, I love a good tinfoil hat,
Yeah.
but come on.
But if I'm
You
honest,
people are
like,
insane.
well, also, like, I don't know that Taylor Swift is like your best marketing piece to promote Biden.
But here's something else I wanted to bring up. Paul says Swift is only 2 years younger than McDonald. Maybe she's available to coach. I like it.
You want to bring in the dollars? Yeah.
Here's the point I want to bring up. Now Taylor Swift, she's got some songs that deal with heartbreak, and some of her newer stuff. But again, I can't tell you. I know as much as Rennie wants to say I'm a Swiftie. I like her country stuff. I really haven't listened to her newer stuff. But the thing is Taylor Swift really, think about this, is she really a bad role model? I mean, you could do a lot worse.
Maybe. I don't like.
I mean, think about all the artists that are out there right now.
No, 100%.
And I don't want to name names.
You could do worse. You could do better. Would I rather my daughter follow Lauren Daigle? 100%.
Right.
Am I glad she doesn't listen to Lil' Kim? Also 100%. Like that.
Right.
She's kind of middle of the road for me.
But she's not the problem.
No.
We've got other artists that are putting garbage out there that young kids are following because that's the new trend or whatever.
No, yeah.
We could do a lot worse. I mean, I saw one person wrote on Sunday.
Mike. Okay. Sorry.
Well, Mike said she's a pretty good role model.
She's all right, except for she's had like 27 boyfriends in the last 5 years. I'd rather my daughters don't do that. Like
Drew says on New Heights, Travis Kelce barely talks about the relationship. It's a great podcast. And my oldest,
well, that
is
and
obsessed with
that
her, and I
every
don't
time she
mind it.
breaks up with it, she bashes whoever it is in the songs. Like,
well, and that's kind of the joke because I can't wait to hear Travis Kelce's breakup song.
I mean, that's kind of the.
I guess my point is that if you're conservative and you're all wrapped around the axle because of Taylor Swift, what I encourage you to rethink your life choices.
Christian, she showcases how to act like an early 20 to mid 20-year-old as a 34-year-old woman.
Okay.
I mean, it is kind of funny. It is. I was like, her being 34 kind of blew me out of the water.
I know. I was a little surprised too. Yeah. I mean, see.
I did think she was like mid 20s still.
Rich says our 8-year-old Emily sings Taylor Swift songs.
I am so thankful that my daughters are not wrapped around the axle on this
I
girl.
just it really as Peter Griffin says, it really grinds my gears that they're making such a big deal out of this.
Magruder, T Swizzle's a good ad to the NFL. Put her on a roster.
You know what?
Yeah.
But again, look at how she dressed on Sunday.
Yeah, conservatively, not like showing off. Yeah, I mean,
Where's
it could be
the
way worse.
problem
It
here?
could be much worse. 100%.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely.
100%.
So
Do I think it's a big deal? No, not at all. Do I think she's a bad role model? No, not. And I don't think she's a bad role model. Am I?
Oh no, I don't want to answer that. Hold on, phone call coming through. No, we need to go away.
But also, am I like really glad that my kids aren't wrapped around the axle on her and she's not like a staple in the Weaver household? 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I think all this nonsense with her is ridiculous. Let her do her thing, and if you don't watch football games, if you're not going to watch the Super Bowl because Taylor Swift is going to be there and they're going to put the camera on her a total of a minute, you got bigger problems.
He who has extra calories to burn thinking about how Taylor Swift is ruining football should spend those calories drinking more beer and worrying about them themselves. 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
It is funny. I just don't think about it or talk about it. Like that's even why Rory was like, "Hey, we should talk about this day," and I was just like, "Oh, who cares?" Like,
yeah, and it was more of the very small fraction of people in America that are thinking that she is the reason to bring down Meg.
In all reality, like it's like
even I can't agree with that conspiracy.
It's like
theory.
I mean, in all reality, like no one cares when they show Matthew McConaughey constantly in Texas games, right?
Right.
Because everyone loves.
Nobody pissed and moaned about Eminem.
Yeah.
And
he was flipping off the crowd.
Right, and Eminem's flipping off the crowd. But
my dog.
Which, as a sports fan, I love.
No, you know who my youngest two absolutely love. You know who my youngest two absolutely love? Eminem. I have to find all the clean versions of his songs because they're in the car. Oh, I found them. I'm on it. I'm diving deep into the dark webs for those, but I'm finding them.
I wanted Detroit so bad.
So did I.
And I really don't even want to talk about that game.
Nope, they crapped the bed.
They totally did.
All right.
Let's move on to the next.
You got video, dude?
I got video. Now, here's the thing. I got to preface this video. We're going to talk about Gen Z. And I think...
And prices.
I think you're going to be surprised at our take. Well, at least my take on Gen Z.
I don't have a take.
But here's the thing. Usher should... Oh, let me do this.
Have Taylor Swift.
Pop up during the Super Bowl. Oh, no.
God, no.
Christian. I saw Christian on Monday. Big hug. But
Christian, I love many things about you. That idea is not one of them. Yeah.
Paul wants to know if we were having mechanical issues wrapped around your axle, grinding your gears. Hey-oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to preface this by saying we haven't used the F-bomb in like 3 episodes. So we've built up
we got a little street cred.
We got a shield. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to preface this. The video that we're going to show has 3 F-bombs in it. I think it's 3. Hopefully it's not 4. Might be 3. We might be canceled, demonetized.
We don't come back from this video. It's because we've been drug out.
But here's the thing: is there's this talk going on for a long time about Gen Z and about how Gen Z is lazy and they don't work hard, and I want to address it.
That's it. That's the end of the show. Thanks.
Yep, there we go. See ya. And so let me go ahead and pull this up here, and if this works, then be prepared. Hide your cover your kids' ears. Oh, look, we can show us over here.
Our reaction.
Yeah. All right. So, can I do this?
This girl cracks me up, dude.
I know. Here we go. I got to do this. Boom. Boom.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying.
Yes.
But this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college. And I'm in person and I'm commuting in the city and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford living in the city right now. So that's off the table. Like fucking duh. If I was able to walk to work and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like I leave here, like I get on the train at 7:30 and I don't get home till like 6:15 earliest. And then like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like I don't have energy to work out. Like that's out the window. Like I'm so upset. Oh my God. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just like the 9 to 5 schedule in general is crazy. Being in the office 9 to 5, like if it was remote, you get off at 5 and you're home and everything's fine. But like I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and like people that drive to the office, like you don't get off at 5. And I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but like I literally get off, it's pitch black. Like I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like how do you have time to like meet like a guy? I don't know. Like how do you have time for like dating? Like I don't have time for anything, and I'm like so stressed out. And I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm all emotional. But like, am I so dramatic? It's fine.
Yes.
I know I'm probably just being.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's bring this back. Okay, so I'm listening to your initial reactions.
I've seen this video several times.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew. Oh, for F's sakes. Paul. Oh my gosh. Andrew. Boo-hoo. Try working 2 side jobs on top of your main job. Give your balls a tug. Dane. Work in real estate and make your own hours. Yeah.
Well, and Dane brings up a good point, and I guess this is something that I want to share. I want to share with Gen Z. And,
nobody cares.
Well, see, that's the Luke Weaver Marine side of it.
Yeah.
And there's the Rory side of it that was like that maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And I got to think about it a little bit more, and I watched Matt Walsh. And we know Matt Walsh is not a softie. He's not going to sugarcoat it. And what he said is it doesn't matter what you do in life. You have to work.
Paul, wow, she's single? That's what Paul said.
Actually, she's unemployed. She lost her job.
Oh, no.
Not because of the video, but the business had to lay off people. But Matt Walsh brought up a great point. He said, hey, listen, we all have to work.
So she's got some time on her hands, Paul.
Yeah. We got some.
Pull up in the Cougulans, dude.
Give her a break. She's just vocalizing what we all thought first. You know what? And thank you. Magruder, he brings up the point that I was.
Sellers, what the hell did I just walk into?
The thing is that we were like that internally.
Not. No.
You were not like that.
So I grew up watching my dad, and I know your dad, your version too, but like we lived on Mason Lake, and my dad worked in Tacoma. It was an hour and a half minimum drive each way. She's bitching about an hour.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, and my dad had to be at work usually by 7:30 in the morning. Okay, not 9 to 5. Usually by 7:30. Wouldn't get off till 5. So my dad was up at 5 in the morning to do his morning walk, have his coffee, get a read in, hit the road by 6 to be at work at 7:30. Not home until 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then would still go for a walk with us kids, play basketball outside or whatever. Like, and I'm not saying that my dad's perfect by stretch of the imagination, but that's what I saw. Like, that is the standard for me. So when you tell me, oh, boo-hoo, you have to get up at 7:30 so you can get to work by 9 o'clock and then you don't get home till 6, like, dude, I just honestly, like, and I, like, Gruder, I love you. Rory, I love you. But, like, I have no sympathy whatsoever. Like, your parents didn't prepare you for the real world. This world did not prepare you for the real world. Whether you're working remotely or not, like even you and I, like Dane says, oh, like make your own hours. Yeah, which includes Saturdays and Sundays and nights and when you're supposed to be at home with your kids. Like I just literally never in my life have I thought like, oh my God, this is so hard. Like this, I can't do this. Like give your balls a tug, as my boy Drew says.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with all your toxic masculinity.
Her commute is much better now.
It is true.
I watched my mom do it.
So, but here's the thing, you guys, is that she was not shown a good example. She was not shown what you and I were shown growing up. And she has, and I'm not excusing her at all because I feel the same way. I remember when I had to commute from Port Orchard to Tacoma every day before the Second Narrows Bridge. So I sat in traffic for at least an hour both ways. And then I worked a 9-hour job with a 1-hour lunch break in the middle. So I worked those hours because that's what you do. That's what you do to put food on the table, to take care of your family, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I wish I could find the other video I wanted to show as well, where it's someone else from Gen Z saying, shit is expensive right now.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you're not wrong that things are expensive. But Matt Walsh's point is you still have to work. If you're unemployed, you got to go find a job. That's work. If you want to be a real estate agent, you're going to have to probably work Saturdays. You're probably going to have to show houses until 7, 8 o'clock at night. The thing is that the most cushy job out there is that 9 to 5, where it's an hour to commute. You work from 9 to 5.
Got your weekends off.
You got your weekends off. You've got your evenings. And the thing is that, yeah, I want to rip into her and say, give your balls a tug. But at the same time,
I'll do it.
The thing is that you need to realize, young lady, that life is work. Is it fair? No. No, it's not. But life is work. No matter what, you have to work at something.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit more sympathy for Gen Z. A little bit more. Not a ton, but a little bit more. Because things are really expensive right now. And you were looking up the prices of stuff.
And we could go into that. But I think for me, that's
right. Christian hit on that. Luke had work ethic modeled to him by his dad. It would be interesting to know what this young lady would define work ethic as. Yeah. And that's it right there. We saw a good example.
I just think that before you go out and do a video like that,
right?
just
give your balls a tug.
Do a detailed. Just do a detailed search around.
Yes.
Look around and
read the room.
Yeah. Think about the military that overseas that don't get to see their kids be born. You know what I'm saying? Think about the moms working 3 jobs because they're the only parent. Think about the dad who's working 2 or 3 jobs and still making it to games and still showing up to support his kids.
Right.
And is not complaining and putting videos out there about how tough your single life is at 23 years old.
And you nail it. You absolutely nail it on that aspect.
I mean, I got 4 kids. Rory's got like 11 kids.
That's right.
I guess I don't have any sympathy because I'm just, like you said, read the room, look around, and honestly answer the question of who's got it worse than you, who's got it better than you. Is it really that bad? 9 to 5 with an hour commute.
Well, and the thing if I was to sit down with this young lady, my first thing I would say to her is, okay, what do you want to do?
Freaking Dane, you jackass! You're like my age.
Okay, we'll get to Dane in a second. I'll get to Drew and Joe, Dane in a second. But I would ask her, okay, if that doesn't work for you, what do you want to do? I mean, the thing is I feel like some people in Gen Z, they want to hear that they don't have to work, that they can be on their cell phones all day, they can kick back at the coffee shop, and they can watch their Netflix, and they don't have to do work or a damn thing. And the thing is, that's not available. You're not going to win the lottery unless you're going to marry a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. Those things are not going to happen.
And it might be available, and if it is, go find it. Don't go out there and sound like a selfish brat to the world when people are doing much harder things.
That's where she misses the point. Yeah. Because I've said that to my kids before. I've said, okay, you don't like that job. What's your plan?
Yeah.
What do you want to do instead? Because the thing is, and I think you would agree with me on this, and I think most of the audience would agree with me, is when you're in your early 20s, what better time to figure out what you want to do? Now, granted, the world's crazy. We've been through COVID. We've got politics that are just insane. I get all that as a backdrop, but at the end of the day, you still have to figure things out.
Yeah.
You still have to figure out, how am I going to put gas in my car? How am I going to put food on the table? Everything's expensive. I get that. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't just sit there, make videos, and have a pity party.
Like, I think more than anything, it's just the rant.
Yeah.
Like, the rant's just out of touch.
But the thing is, that's what this generation does now, and maybe they need to learn to take a step back and not rant.
I think the bigger issue is like that these people think that like girls like her or young men like her or whatever feel that like they deserve some kind of sympathy, or that like we care enough to be like, oh, you poor thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that must suck for you. Like,
yeah,
I know kids that died at 17 years old because they went to fight for their country, and you're complaining about this rough life you have working a Monday to Friday job.
I won't lie to you. I've got Gen Z adult kids.
Yeah.
And when I hear some of this stuff, I actually have to look in the mirror and go, what did I not teach them?
Yeah.
What was it that my dad taught me that I didn't teach them? Was I too soft on them? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But why is this generation like that? Why is there so much entitlement that they're now realizing the world is not fair? The world doesn't care. The world's going to punch you in the face.
Yeah, these comments are...
All right, so let me get to the comments here. Let me jump back up to Drew. Drew says, Joey couldn't wait to get a job when he turned 16. He's been working at the local movie theater for almost 2 years. Then Jacob, who's 15, was able to get a job working the spotlight during the local junior hockey game and helping with the. And there's a sense of accomplishment when you have a job, especially a job that you like. Clearly, they like those two jobs.
Jackass Dane here.
All right, Jackass Dan. I'll let you read it.
It's a much different world now than when Luke's dad was working and providing for his family in the early 1900s. Back then, you could still afford to keep a family of 5 alive and own a home on a single income, and they didn't have social media to F with their heads. Yeah, and I think Dane kind of nailed it right there. Like that's part of it too.
Right.
These people find people to commiserate with them in the world that have the same. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, which was a Wednesday. There was no commiserating.
No.
You know, like if I even said this, my dad would have slapped me and been like, "Hey, put your boots on.
I didn't
go outside and get a load of wood."
I didn't have I didn't have a place to jump on social media and say, I really effing hate working the night crew at Eagle Hardware and Garden.
Yeah.
But it puts food on the table and it allows me to go to college.
Yep. What's next?
Magruder. It's not that I have sympathy for her. I just understand what a kick in the nuts it is when you realize that life was going to consist of endless hours of grinding and limited hours of fun, personal time. Life is hard for everyone. Some of us are blessed enough to turn our fun into money. Getting there has been rewarding, but it has been a grind few would endure. And that you bring up a great point. I think this generation needs to understand you have to grind.
I feel like the grind though is what like makes it so much sweeter in the end.
Absolutely.
Not, hey, here's the keys to the car at 22 years old.
I was sharing this with my kids last night. The very first place that Christy and I lived was a shed in her grandparents' backyard when we were married. That's where we lived. And I was sharing this with my kids, and I said, and look at what we're at now.
Back then, he went by the name Ted Kaczynski.
No. Uncle Ted. God rest his soul. No, I'm kidding. FBI now, I'm going to watch this. But
already were.
But I was sharing with the kids that we went from that shed in the backyard to we're on a half acre out here in the country in a nice warm house, putting food on the table, all this kind of stuff.
And I put a shed in the backyard for you.
Actually, I did. And Bella's constantly saying, Ryan, you need to move out to the shed. But I think that is something.
Follow your father's footsteps.
I think that's something that's missing in Gen Z is that grind.
Yeah.
Realizing that when you graduate from college, you're not going to start at the $100,000 level.
I wonder what she did in high school. I say that to say this. I don't see any of like Maddie's like friends, basketball teammates, athletes that life is a grind, like with this level of things suck.
Yeah.
Versus
your daughter's a great example.
I love the grind. Like
your daughter is a great example.
Yeah.
When did she start playing basketball?
Like well, I mean, she played rec from when she was little, but she really started playing when she was like 8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
And now she's got a full ride scholarship to a college.
Right. Yeah.
And has it been sunshine and rainbows for her?
No, and you know, she's got AP classes, she's got training, she's got practice, she's got individual skills training. You know, right now she's 3 nights a week she's going over, and our buddy Mike Richardson, she's going over and watching his dog for an hour 3 nights a week, and so while he's at work. You know, she works at the farm in the spring and the fall. You know, Lainey is going to be doing the same thing. Like, even if here, my thought is my point to all this, I think, is that even if it's not a registered tax-paying job, right? I think that there's things that you can have in your child's life that teach them about the grind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's sports or music or, you know, tinkering on things in the yard work, you know, having some responsibility. Like, I think there are things that you can utilize in this world to teach your kids about the grind. And it just feels like she's one of those ones that just never learned about
the grind.
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree.
And by no means I'm like, I've been perfect at it. Like, I let my girls off the hook far too much at home with the chores and stuff. But I also, appreciate how hard they work at the things they love.
Absolutely.
So,
Dane says she needs to get humbled, which sounds like she did when she got laid off. Well, I don't know if she got humbled, but she got laid off for sure. So now she has to figure it out.
She's still in her 20s. Off-market pharmaceutical sales is a great short-term career choice to afford, put gas in a car. The schedule sucks sometimes, and management can be a bitch, but the money is nice, according to my friends.
You know, and Dane, you bring up a good point. We live in a country. We live in this country, our country, where if you don't like working at your 9-to-5 job, go find something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked in a point of sale company that worked on computers. I enjoyed it for the most part.
Yeah.
But I had a ceiling on how much money I could make. I wanted to make more money.
Yeah.
And so
Sorry about that.
When I got
Just kidding.
yeah, I've gone from this back to this. When I first got into real estate in 2014, I had no closings.
Yeah.
In 2015, I had 12, but I was on a team, so in sincerity, I really only had 6, financial wise.
Yeah.
So I had to go through the grind, and unfortunately, my family had to go through the grind with me. But I had to go through the grind. So when I had 2016 come around, and I'm able to take my family to Disneyland and pay cash, that right there was so fulfilling.
Christian, I almost want to be in one of your counseling sessions just to see if you bring it back to 80s music somehow.
Drew says the Starbucks barista crying is what really cracks me up. Yes, I've seen that. Dane blames TikTok. I totally agree.
Entitlement exists.
That's why, entitlement exists. What's he say here?
Because of the 0.1% of clout chasers flaunting stacks of money driving a Lamborghini at 21.
Yeah.
You know what I think the difference is, though, is like a lot of it's that mindset. Like, Steve Jobs drove the same 84 Honda Civic to work every day for his entire life. Like, there was a different mentality and I think to go back to what Dane said about social media, right? We got to show it off, right? We got to show off what we're driving. We got to show off our fancy stuff. Steve Jobs never felt the need to show off his fancy stuff. He just kept working.
He had the same freaking outfit every single day.
Yeah. Speaking of Steve Jobs and social media, did you see what happened on Capitol Hill yesterday with Zuckerberg? Dear God. That's maybe another day. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've got thoughts about what happened in Capitol Hill yesterday.
AC/DC once said, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, buddy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Dane says they're on this hustle mentality, but they don't realize that in order to hustle, they have to grind. And nobody wants to do the work to get the results they're dying to have because they saw it online. I saw a Gary Vee clip yesterday. Gary Vee, the king of hustle.
Yeah.
And even he was saying on there, he's saying there are things you can do to make money.
Good morning, Luke Griffin.
There are so many different ways that you can make money. I think the thing is that the expectations have to be there. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to do these amazing things, you have to grind and hustle. It's not just going to fall in your lap.
Yeah.
And so someone had said the Gen Z is tired of the hustle culture.
Yeah.
But how else are you going to get where you want to get to?
Well, you can't just drop into a job at a college at the top, right? Making 6 figures. I mean, you can some.
Let's bring it back to football for a second. Where did John Schneider start out as?
Wasn't he just like a ball boy in Green Bay?
Right.
Yeah.
They were talking about it this morning. It had nothing to do with this, but they were talking about John Schneider kept on calling Ron Wolf. I wanted an interim position. So he had to grind to get Ron Wolf's attention. Ron Wolf finally said, "Fine, go do scouting for us."
Yeah, you can hold the sticks and practice.
And look where he's at now.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald never played college football.
Barely played his senior year of high school because of injury.
Right. So he's never been a player.
Well, look at Jed Fish, the coach of the new coach of the Huskies. Didn't play high school football. Didn't play college football.
Yep.
Started out as a video tech guy, and just kept working.
Because they knew what they wanted. They wanted to get to a certain place, and I think that's the thing is you got to realize that this is lying to you, Generation Z. It is lying to you, telling you that everybody has got it figured out. Everybody's making stacks and stacks of cash. It's not true. The Kardashians are lying to you. I know they're millennials, but my point is this is messing with your head because real life out there is hard.
Sucks.
But it's so fulfilling.
Adulting, 0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
Yeah, that's what my kids say. What does Christian say here? Tears for Fears playing over the speaker. Oh boy.
All songs.
Is he over in the Yacht Rock station? Paul says the grind they know is the coffee shop on the corner. Yeah. And here's the thing. What else?
The dark grind.
So here I am at
God.
Electric Coffee House today, and I'm hoping to find somebody I can create some content with, and maybe we could slap together some content for you.
Hey,
have a great day.
Hey, the owner of Electric here, Tina, man, she
busts her ass.
She busted her tail to get where she's at. She started out. We had originally met Tina when she was at Anthem.
Great example.
And then came over here, opened up her coffee shop, and the pandemic hit like the next day. Like and she pushed through. She pushed through.
Yep.
She's here almost every day, even though it's successful. I look at my sister in Hawaii.
Right.
My sister's 33 years old. She'll be 34 next week, but like she started her coffee shop in her, early to mid 20s, and now she's one of the most successful coffee shops in the country, and she's still there every day. Like,
well, and I'll share,
which gives me hope because my sister is of that generation, is a millennial.
Well, and I'll share experiences. I know that we're Gen X, which nobody talks about Gen X. I watched so many videos yesterday.
Bro,
it was boomers, millennials, and Zs all fighting against each other. And I just say out loud, and there's no videos about Gen X in the mix. And Christy goes, because they don't care about us.
Well, I'll have to show it to you. There was a Nate Bargatze clip I saw yesterday where he's like, I'm not Gen X because he's my age. He's like, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not, a millennial. I'm in this middle group of people, and Gen X hates the millennials, and millennials hate Gen X, and just leave us alone, kind of. But like,
he's Gen X.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Anywho,
Paul says, I wanted more job security. At 30, I went back to school, lived in a funeral home for 2 years. Now I'm a nurse. $124,000 last year. I've never been wealthy, but I'm having a good. Exactly,
bro.
Paul, you would be a great poster child for talking to Gen Z. Is that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but have a goal where you want to go to.
Well, I think just like. Paul said, I've never been wealthy, but I'm having a good life. I was watching something recently just about money and what makes you happy. I think all of us need to do a better job, and especially Blondie here. Like, find some joy in your daily life.
Yeah.
Like find something to look forward to when you're going to work. That person you like to talk to, or that lunch spot you like to hit. Like, just find a way to find some joy in your everyday life. And, even when you get home in the short amount of time it feels like before you hit the rack. Sometimes people are just so busy focusing on, the trenches that they forget to remember the blessings, and the rays of sunshine in their day.
That's a great point. The best way you can do that is take this,
chuck it out the window,
and go put it in a drawer, or go hide it somewhere. And you're right. There have been days in the past where I've come home and I've just been thinking about work and thinking about how things are going. And I realize if I just take my phone, go put it in the bedroom, I come back out, I have no technology to fiddle fart around with.
Yeah.
And I can interact with the family and talk about their day and how things are going for them. And just realize that this is reality, not the phone there.
Magruder says, no, they will learn. They will just learn their way. Remember, their childhood is so vastly different than ours. I'm impressed with some of their ability to innovate. They will figure it out. Mike disagrees. He's like, will they though? Luke Griffin, my OnlyFans feet pics are paying my bills. Don't judge.
No judging at all, man.
Luke has some good-looking feet. Sailboat, Coogulance, Dune Buggy, living on Alki. He with the most toys wins. and honestly, he without the most toys wins. I mean, it's all your view and your lens and what makes you happy. Like you give me a good book and some nice tunes. I can vibe all day and be just happy. Like it's.
I feel like Gen Z. Take a deep breath, put the phone down, and go outside.
It will suck less someday.
It will.
And then when it sucks less, it will suck more one day, only to suck less again. Like this is just the cycles. Yeah.
This is life.
Enjoy the ride, man. Someday you look back on someday you can look back on that video and be like, I wish I could take that back.
I've seen that on some of the Facebook posts I've put in the past.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Who cares?
But that brings a good point, though. We wanted to talk a little bit about how much things cost now.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a point to be made as far as like how cramped people's budgets are getting.
Absolutely.
So one thing you and I were talking about, we were talking about gas prices.
And I could say this. I could say that when Gen Z is bitching about how expensive things are nowadays, you're not wrong. You guys have been through a pandemic. You've been through crazy politics. You've been through huge college loan debt. And
Joe Biden.
And now you're trying to figure out how to pay the bills. I mean, you're not wrong with that aspect of it. All we're saying is you're going to have to grind to get out of it. You have to figure out. And part of that grind, and I'm not telling you to vote for Democrat or Republican, but part of that grind is to understand who you're voting for.
And not just the president.
And I want you to get to
policies.
I want you to get to the prices here, but I'm going to touch on real quick. I posted a picture yesterday of the Fred Meyer Sumner, and they've got the detergent locked up.
Jeez Louise. I know, I saw that.
And again, I would say the same thing to our society. If you don't want the detergent locked up, think about the people that you vote for that allow things to go into law or not go into law.
I haven't washed my clothes in weeks. I don't have time to wait for the guy to come unlock the cabinet.
Right. And it's just, so Gen Z, think about who you vote for in the future. And again, I'm not telling you vote Republican or Democrat. Just think about who you vote for.
Policymakers, man.
If you don't like how things are going, it's us that have to vote to make that change. So anyways, prices. Dude, I remember when I got my license in 1993. Yeah, 1993. I got my license. Dude, I was so stoked. Like 78 cents a gallon.
Oh, yeah. Hey, real quick, where'd it go? Thinking about who you vote for just happened. 155 House Democrats, 75% of their conference, 75% of Democrats in the House, just voted against deporting criminal migrants who commit Social Security fraud and rob our seniors. So that means they don't think we should deport illegal immigrants that come into our country and commit Social Security fraud, stealing from citizens who have put into Social Security our entire lives in order to have a retirement check. Do with that what you will. That is the kind of stuff you got to be thinking about. All right, prices. Back to prices. In 1999, the average gas price was 96 cents a gallon.
1999.
This is nationwide average.
When Creed put out one of their good albums.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. This is a nationwide average.
96 cents.
96 cents.
Okay.
Now there were times in 99 I found it for 79, 85 cents.
Crab, you're not wrong.
When it hit low.
Shanna. Good morning, Shanna.
Yeah. Some young adults don't want to work hard. They feel entitled and want instant gratification. Some have not felt the struggle. True story. Don't vote Dem, says Rich. When I saw that, by the way. Okay, anyway. So 96 cents. So 1999, around this same time frame, it was February.
Okay.
The average price per gallon was 96 cents.
Okay. 1999.
Nationwide.
Okay.
Do you know what the federal minimum wage was in 1999?
I'm going to guess the federal minimum wage was $2.75 in 1999.
No, it was $5.15. $5.15. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about when I was working.
Yeah. It went up in in 1996 when I started working, it was $4.75.
Okay.
And then in 1999 it went up to $5.15.
Okay. So $5.15 and so we got gas at 96 cents. I haven't seen any of these stats, so I'm learning this as he said. So in 1999, gas is 96 cents a gallon
on average nationwide,
and federal minimum wage is $5.15.
Yeah.
Okay, so gas is. Let's do some math here. Is that 1/5?
It's less than a fifth. Yeah. So you literally, with 1 hour's worth of work, you could buy 5.5 gallons of gas.
Okay. I'm tracking. I've got the old.
The average gas price right now nationwide, as we look at it, is $3.20 a gallon.
Okay.
Which is down from where it was in June of last year. Dude, listen to this. And actually, we can even use June. Last year in June, it hit an all-time high of $5.03 a gallon, national average.
So it hit the minimum wage of 1999.
Okay. Do you know what the federal minimum wage is right now?
I do know because you told me this morning. So
go ahead.
You guys figure it out. What's the?
You guys know what the federal minimum
wage? Yeah, average house was $136,999. Yeah. I bought
the average car is that much.
I bought my first house in 2001 for $104.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things have really skyrocketed. If someone doesn't chime in here.
Go ahead. Federal minimum wage.
$7.25.
$7.25. So yes, it is $1 million in Seattle, but national federal minimum wage is $7.25. Thank you, Paul. Paul chimed in.
There we go.
So put that in perspective. Last June, when gas prices were at $5.03, you could work an hour and buy essentially 1.2 gallons we'll call it 1.25 gallon of gas for 1 hour of work, compared to buying over 5 gallons in 1999. Wow. So I mean, there is some credence to the inflation, how much people make compared to how much things cost, right?
Magruder says $4 increase isn't a big impact to a family's bottom line. An additional $1,500 in rent, mortgage, and $400 increase in home energy expense do. We need to figure out how we are going to provide some sort of affordable housing for this new generation coming up, or we will have grandchildren living in all our basements.
Yeah, $4 increase in gas. That is, and I'll take that a step further. Rory and I were doing some stats a while ago on the housing market, and just looking at different places and all that. And I'm going to use Milwaukee in this example. Milk is $4.29. You could get it for 99 cents a gallon back in the late 90s sometimes, or it'd be $1.49 at most.
I remember I was pissed when gas broke the $1 mark.
I can remember living in California when I was in the Marine Corps. It was like 2003, and it was up to like $2.20, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I was in the Marine Corps, so I was already poor. Like,
right?
I have to call into work. Someone's got to send a bus, man. They'd be like, it's only 41 miles, run it in. Like, roger that, sir. So we were looking at this recently, like cost of living. And I want to look at this historically at some point. I didn't do it for today, but just like current stats, the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Seattle right now is around $900,000. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, starter home. We're not talking about luxury here.
Right.
Okay. Or not the average, that's the median home price for a 3-bed, 2-bath in Seattle. The median income in Seattle is like $92,000.
Okay.
So your home costs 10 years of salary.
10 years of salary. Okay, I'm tracking what you're saying.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, granted, it's Milwaukee.
Right.
I get
it's not
it.
the tech hub of the
We're
world.
just using it as an example. The median home price for that same 3-bedroom, 2-bath home is about $162,000.
Okay.
The median income in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is $67,000. So 2.5 to 3 years income, buy the house cash.
Wow.
That's crazy.
When you look at it like that, that's crazy.
So then that got us talking about like just other things. Recently I went to, so for those of you who don't know, those of you know me well, you guys know I'm a huge Blink-182 fan, and I'm like original Blink. Like I was listening to Cheshire Cat.
What's my name again?
No, before What's My Name Again. I was listening to Cheshire Cat, Dude Ranch, all these things that came out well before What's My Name Again or What's My Age Again. So Casey and I in 1999, I found a ticket the other day. I just wrote these down because I didn't want to bring them in here, but like I was going through old ticket stubs. I used to keep things. Casey, Lawson, and I went to a Blink-182 concert at the Gorge.
Okay.
Bad Religion was opening up, another great band. General pit ticket down on the floor so we could mosh, right? Was $19.90.
And what year was this?
99.
Okay, so it costs you
Minimum wage, 4 hours of work.
4 hours of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Casey and I were just looking to go to the Blink concert next summer in July. Same pit ticket, $450. So with the national minimum wage at $7.25, I have to work until like July. Put it all aside. Bad Religion still crushes it.
Crabs, as long as whiskey and beer prices stay as is, we're going to be fine, guys. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, man.
Paul says, I worked at a gas station in Pullman. It was 99 cents a gallon the whole time.
Yeah.
What's a payment on $900,000 with 20% down at 6%?
You're probably around $5,000.
Yeah.
So I started going through other stuff, right? Now, part of the thing with Blink is, and by the way, I think if you're an original band fan, like from back in the day, you should get like those prices, not have to pay these. So I was looking at other things. I found some other ticket stubs. I went to a Newfound Glory show with the Donnas opening up at San Diego State University in 2002, $23 for seats down on the floor close to the stage. I also went to a Jimmy Eat World concert with Something Corporate opening up in 2003 for $23, sitting at San Diego State University, sitting down next to the show. I found a bunch of movie tickets, but I'm going to throw these out there. Titanic matinee in 1997. How much do you think I would have gone
Matinee, I'm going to say you paid $4.25.
$4, yeah. $4 for a matinee.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, dude. It's 3 times that now, right?
Oh, yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And then I also found a Big Lebowski showing. I saw it twice in theaters. One of the tickets I found from 1997 was a late showing, so it wasn't a matinee.
Right.
$6.50.
Do they even do matinee prices anymore?
Yeah, so it's like usually $14 and it's $12.50 or $12 for a matinee.
I haven't noticed that.
So let's see what else I have in here. Do you know what the average Super Bowl ticket price is this year?
Oh, I want to say it's like $5,000.
Is that what you want to say? Because I wish you were right.
$9,000?
$9,800 for your average Super Bowl ticket price.
You know, I don't care enough.
No.
I don't care enough.
Well, especially in the day of like 80-inch screen TV in your house and instant replay. Like,
well, even if the Cougs, on a wish and a prayer, ever made it to the national championship,
yeah,
I'd watch it from home or I'd watch it at a bar with a bunch of Cougs.
Do you know what the price was in 1997?
I'm gonna say $500.
$405. You're close. $405 on average.
Okay, so 1997, which is roughly 2 years away from 99, which the federal minimum wage was $5.25.
Yeah.
So it's
$5.15. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to cost you. What is that going to cost you? 10 hours of work?
Just call it 5 into 40. It's 80 hours of work.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I got my math wrong on that one.
80 hours.
So it's going to cost you 2 weeks of work.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay, so if you're federal minimum wage
which
today,
honestly, to go to the Super Bowl, like, okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Now do that math right now with the
I
Super Bowl
can't.
ticket.
It's too big of numbers.
98. Oh, what's 9,800 divided by 725?
I mean, it's at least it's like 1,000 hours worth of work.
Let that sink in.
I know.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean that's just. I got another one here. Okay. So, and let's bear in mind the Blink show that I want to go to next July. It's $450 to get in to be on the pit.
Okay.
Okay. Woodstock. 1969.
1969,
Woodstock.
the real summer of love.
We're talking Janis Joplin and Big Brother. We're talking Joe Cocker. We're talking
the man, the myth, the legend, Hendrix.
Yeah, I mean, we're the big, not one of the biggest rock festival of all time. 3 days. Any idea on how much it cost to get in before they broke down all the fences? And
I'm gonna say, I'll say $250.
$18 in advance.
Back in 1969.
$24 at the door.
How much? What was minimum wage back then?
2 something.
Really?
Yeah, I can pull it up actually.
You pull that up, and I'll read some of these comments here. Magruder says, and housing should be 25% of gross monthly is the rule of thumb. So who is getting $20,000 a month for the starter house? See, dude, that's just insane. What's going to give? Keep chasing our tail and legislate a living wage, or legislate a cap on profits in order to keep prices manageable? The economy is broken already. You know what? I got some thoughts, but we're going to go to this. I got an idea.
The federal minimum wage in 1969 was $1.60.
Paul says 1,352 hours to get a Super
Thank
Bowl
you, Paul.
ticket.
That's insane. I mean, that's
Mother,
at
father.
federal minimum wage.
Paul says, but $1.30?
It was $1.60 in 19. It went up from $1.40 to $1.60 in 1968, and then stayed that way until 1974 when it went up to $2.
Okay.
So federal minimum wage was $1.60 for an $18 ticket to get into Woodstock.
So what? 9 hours?
Yeah.
9
Now,
hours to get into Woodstock.
I think this is even better perspective. Okay, better perspective even. That today, that price, if you were to like, through inflation and everything, that today is the equivalent to $140
For Woodstock.
for Woodstock.
Now, the thing is, nobody knew at the time that Woodstock was going to be the greatest concert.
No, but $140. About 7 years ago, I wanted to go to the music festival in Joshua Tree. It had Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, The Who, and I think James Taylor. And you were starting at $1,500.
Jeez.
I almost did it, but I mean, just think about like how much things have gone up compared to what the federal minimum wage is, and it's like I joked with Rory. I'm like, okay, so if you make $7.25 an hour in Nebraska,
yeah, but the acid was free though.
Yeah,
great. You didn't. That's true. You didn't have to budget for the acid.
Right, the perks. You know,
think the bad with the good.
The perks.
They have $20 beers now and better bathrooms.
Think about it like this though.
That's true.
Think about you and how kind of like what this has done with, and I don't want to say classes, but just society, like and I think the divide in some of the red state middle America compared to blue state coast maybe is if you're working in Milwaukee, okay, we're going to use Milwaukee. If you're working in Milwaukee at the median price of $67,000 a year, okay, and you want to take your family on vacation to Disneyland in California, you and a ticket, say you're a family of 4, right, and you're going to pay $2,000 for a ticket. For the tickets, just for like a 3-day hopper pass or something like that, compared to maybe somebody who's living in Seattle or whatever the case is. I'm just saying, like, it's becoming to the point that for middle America, like vacations to tropical hotspots, to Disneyland, to some of these places is out of touch.
You know, and I'm glad you brought that up because this kind of ties into what I wanted to share next was, you know, Magruder talks about what has to give, what can we do? And my first initial reaction is get the government out of business.
Yeah.
Get the government out of business because even my kids, my Gen Z kids understand that when the government handed out all of that money during the pandemic, inflation was going to go insane. My Gen Z kids understood that.
Yeah.
And so what happened right after we got all that money? Prices went up.
Oh, yeah.
Businesses are
not going to really help in the long run.
It doesn't help in the long run. And my initial thought,
I was so pissed when I got money. I was like, take it back. Yeah.
I'm like, well, you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a conversation for another day. But my initial reaction is get government out of business. Stop subsidizing so much shit.
Well, I got news for you. It's about to get worse because the word on the street is we're about to declare war in the Middle East. So that's been in the news the last couple of days. It's yet to actually happen.
I thought that if we had voted Trump in 2020, that he was going to lead us.
The irony is that if it does happen, then Trump is the only president in the last 30 years who hasn't declared war somewhere. And I'm not. This isn't a pro-Trump rally. I'm just saying this is ironic.
Disneyland was $795 in 1969, $135 in 2020. Yeah, it was expensive. But I mean, that's my initial reaction. How do you fix this? Get the government out of business, subsidizing all this kind of stuff. Because here's the thing: if people can't afford, if people in Milwaukee cannot afford to go to Disneyland,
to take their kids.
And all of a sudden, more people in middle America can't take their family to Disneyland because they can't afford it. What's going to happen to Disneyland? They're not going to have as many bodies going in there. They're not going to have as much revenue. It's all about supply and demand. At the very basic core of everything is supply and demand.
Yeah. It's gotten pretty out of hand. In 2002 or 3, when I lived in Disneyland, or not lived in Disneyland, when I lived in Southern California.
Think, Rich, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Smaller government will help. Yeah. When I lived in Southern California, we bought annual passes, and we could buy an annual pass to Disneyland for less than what it is for a 3-day hopper now.
Wow.
So, and that was just 20 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, we can talk about this all day. Inflation's out of control. Government spending's out of control. I go down the line. Insurance prices are out of control.
And I guess we can wrap this all up in a bow before we share the last thing we're going to share. But it kind of comes back to, is America willing to deal with the grind that would come with the government getting out of business? Because it would be jarring. It would be tough. It could almost be another depression.
I think the problem,
but something has to happen.
I think part of the problem lies in the fact that people vote based on social priorities versus economic priorities. And I bring back the wigs. Let's go. I don't know if he means the actual wigs or the political party. The wigs.
The political party.
Yeah.
But yeah, bring back the wigs too.
Yeah. Rory and I just on here with these.
What? This is reality.
Yeah. This is my hair.
Just got my wig today. Woo!
I mean, just everything across the board costs too much, from a gallon of gas to a gallon of milk to a trip to Disneyland to health insurance. We're sending money all over the place. Government's gotten too big. We're voting based on social priority. Like, my opinion is you should always vote based on economics and who can run the business the best, because the social priorities are what drive all the costs up. And most countries that have gone bankrupt in the last 10 years, it was because of social programs and priorities. That's not to say we don't take care of people.
Right.
But you allow people to take care of people.
Right. We don't need the government to step into everything.
This is the part of the problem why school levies are failing left and right, because when you walk into Puyallup School District right now and you walk into schools and they have the boards out there, please help vote. And I see on the board that if I vote yes and that passes, that it's going to cost me $42 a month in extra taxes for that levy. We don't have $42. I mean, we do, but I'm just saying, like, people in general don't have an extra $42 a month when prices are the way they are. And when we're getting taxed out the wazoo, look at levies and bonds in this state historically fail at massive rates because we're tired. The people in this state are tired of paying taxes on everything. And when they see another $42, they don't care if it's for the kids. The parents will say, I will help make sure my kids get what they need at home. I can't afford to put another $4,200 into the schools.
Yeah.
And so until we get the taxation and the government spending under control, levies and bonds will continue to fail. Curriculum at schools will continue to decline. The standards will continue to decline. And our country will slowly but surely continue to fall into a third world mire. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, on that happy note.
Sorry, I said I wouldn't go into politics. Anyway.
All right, let's finish it up on a happy note here.
Because we got
Sharon.
So
Drew, Sharon said the Puyallup School District is super heavy people in BS position at the district office.
It is.
Yeah.
Dude, they got I found out yesterday that a gal I used to work for, she was a principal, a gal I used to work for, essentially has nothing to do, but she's not at retirement point. She's just the director of music. The gal can't play a kazoo at the circus, and she's the director of the music programs. And I'm not saying you got to be able to play music to direct programs, but there's just a title for everything down there. And every time I call to talk to someone, they're like, "Oh, you got to talk to so and so."
And this is where Gen Z brings up a good point.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
wear more hats.
Yep. Well, let's finish it up. We've got some exciting news to share with everybody. We are rolling out here right now today. Right. Let me find it right here.
I forgot. I know. What are we rolling out, dude?
What are we doing?
Surprises.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, bring out your cameras.
Yo, mama.
Because we have the Home Sweet Love Nest photo contest.
Yeah, we've been teasing it.
Yep, February 1st to the 13th. The Home Sweet Love Nest contest. Tell them about it.
Well, we've been talking about this.
What they get.
We wanted to do something cool for everybody, everyone that follows us and shows us love. We want to do something cool. And we were trying to figure out how can we also tie in homes, because we're obviously in real estate. And so we came up with the Home Sweet Love Nest. We were just going to say it was going to be just take a self photograph of you and your loved one, your favorite spot in front of a waterfall, at your favorite park. But we decided to make it more about the homes because we are realtors. And so what we're encouraging everyone to do is to take a selfie with your spouse or your whomever, your significant other, and your favorite part of your house or your property. It can be outside. It can be at your fire pit. It can be in the barn. Whatever, it could be in the kitchen because you like to bake together.
Yep.
And then send us a paragraph or two with the photo of why that is the favorite room. It's the den because we have a record player in there. We like to listen to albums together. It means a lot to us. We're both musicians. Just give us a little something.
Yep.
And then what's going to happen is we're going to sort through all the entries, and 2 couples are going to be awarded $100 gift cards to the restaurant of their choice to make their Valentine's Day extra special.
Yep.
Am I missing anything?
No, you nailed it. You hit it right there on the head. We're excited to
Rich hot tub.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Tops on, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're excited. We're excited
Yeah.
to share this. I mean, obviously, we can't enter the contest, but I've talked about it before.
You know what I think though? I think we should. We can't win, but we should enter.
Yeah, might do that.
Yeah.
Might do that. I just need some. I need some rain to stop.
Yeah.
Because my favorite spot is out there by the fire pit. Just enjoying the fire, listening to some music.
Yeah.
Hanging with the family and talking.
Big going.
The other important place in our house, I can't take a selfie of that. So.
Well, you can. Got the mask on, rubbing in the Vicks, humidifier in the background.
And that's how the divorce happened.
The look on Christy's face. All right.
Oh my gosh.
No,
so,
we're excited about this.
Yeah. So we will have all the details. We'll actually go out onto social media here in about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, spread the word. Tell everybody about it. Let them know about this contest. I mean, hell, I'd love a $100 gift card.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But I don't get one.
I'm gonna have to like enter this incognito. So
my name's Rory Ritz.
I'm the little giraffe.
Which I love that, man. I love these. You came up with these, and
oh man,
I just. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's right. I hit a tile in my pocket. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I just love the bear and the deer in the kitchen. I think that's great.
You know what I tried to do?
What's that?
And it wouldn't let me. I tried to do Biden and Zelensky. And it wouldn't let me.
Rightfully so.
And I tried to do Hunter and Joe, and I tried to do Trump and Biden, and I tried to do Trump and Putin, and it would not let me use any real people.
So here's what I had to do, because obviously I could not. I tried typing in Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And it said no, you can't do it. So I had to basically describe what she looked like.
And then go and put the 1989.
And then I had to go into Canva and I had to add the 1989.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're a Swiftie, you know what 1989 signifies.
I'm not, so I don't. So.
And the funny thing is on that microphone right there, my microphone, it's not connected to the stand.
Oh.
So I had to put the Luke and Rory logo on there to make it look like an official microphone thing. But I am not connected to the
That's
stand.
the funny thing with some of that AI stuff. Like I did the bear and the deer, and it put the antlers on the bear.
Beer?
Yeah. The deer's over there with no antlers. Yeah.
No clothes on.
It was a doe and a beer. Yeah. So. All right.
Oh man. Okay, I think that's enough.
And so we're gonna put this out on the Facebook page. Please promote it to all your friends, people we don't know. We want everyone to enter. It'll be a lot of fun, and we could, kind of get your guys' stories. And like Paul and his sweet lady friend, it might be in the back of the Coogulants. Who knows? In the front yard.
Wow, chicken, wow.
So, yeah. All right, that's it, guys. Appreciate
Big
you guys
show next
jumping in.
week. Make sure to tune in next week.
Yeah.
Nars Martinez.
Yeah, Nars Martinez is gonna be on next Thursday. It'll be a fun interview. We have some other cool interviews coming. We have a really awesome show coming in March too that we have not that we don't want you to escape. It'll be a lot of fun, and so we'll drop that news here in the next couple of weeks, so you guys can see that. But that's it. Thanks, you guys.
Right on. Thanks,
so much.
Mr. Sweeney. Have a good day, guys. Take care of yourselves.
Yep.
And you know what?
Hey, high five a police officer.
Let's get out of here.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!